There's a painful truth lurking beneath the glossy surface of private equity, one that few dare to admit, but every CEO, every investor, every leader should face head-on. Private equity isn't just about capital and returns. It has, in some brutal cases, become a force that can crush entire industries. Imagine waking up to the reality that the very lifeblood of your sector, your employees, your hard-won legacy, can all be obliterated not by the natural tides of competition, but by a systematic, cold machine chasing short-term profits. That machine doesn't care about communities devastated, innovation choked out, or the future buried under mountains of debt, stripped from companies to fuel quick wins. And yes, that nightmare is happening right now, everywhere. But here's the catch. You hold the power to change this narrative, to break the cycle, and to build something that lasts far beyond a quarterly report. The problem is real and painful. Industries, once vibrant and pivotal, are slowly being cannibalized. Companies are bought, loaded with debt, their costs slashed to the bone, assets sold off, and once the financial goals are met, what's left? A hollowed shell. Jobs vanish, markets shrink, innovations die. The ecosystem collapses because the system rewards ruthlessness, not resilience. You know this story. Maybe you've seen it play out in your own sector. That creeping fear that no matter how hard you work or how much value you create, you might be next in line for the squeeze. It's a dagger hidden beneath the handshake, a ticking bomb disguised as opportunity. But what if this painful status quo isn't inevitable? What if private equity could transform from an agent of destruction into a beacon of rebirth? The key is not in blind acceptance or waiting for regulators to act. It's not about railing against the machine from the sidelines. It's about stepping into the arena, armed with a fierceness to redefine what private equity can be, a tool for real, lasting change, one that nurtures industries rather than devours them, that champions the individual, the visionary CEOs, creative managers, bold investors who refuse to sell their souls for transient gains. Start by understanding that the future of any industry depends on one thing above all: sustainable value creation. Not the kind that burns fast and bright, then leaves charred ruins, but slow-burning value rooted in innovation, people, and long-term growth. This means transforming due diligence, not as a mere checklist of numbers, but as a deep dive into the ecosystem. How a company fits within the market's fabric, how people's lives intertwine with its success, and what legacy it can forge. Leaders must push beyond the sterile financial metrics and demand clarity on impact, on communities, customers, and employees. This is where real differentiation lies, not in short bursts of profit, but in resilient businesses that can weather storms and create new paths even when the horizon shifts. There's also a brutal truth ignored for too long. Not all cost-cutting is created equal. The quick fix slashes jobs and research, weakens brands, and ultimately destroys. It's a vicious cycle, leaving industries smaller and poorer. Instead, rethink cost reduction as an opportunity to invest smarter, retaining key talent, boosting innovation budgets, and safeguarding brand equity. Put another way, when private equity partners become stewards rather than just slash-and-grab opportunists, they create engines of growth. Imagine funds backing companies where people aren't just numbers, but contributors to a shared vision, and that vision is one of resilience and evolution, not collapse. Ask yourself this: what if every investor and leader demanded a seat at the table where governance isn't just about control, but about responsibility? Where boards don't rubber-stamp profit targets, but interrogate the sustainability and ethics of every decision? This shift pushes the whole industry to unlock transparency, hold players accountable, and build trust. It's uncomfortable. It's hard, but it's necessary, because industry destruction isn't just about business. It's about lives uprooted, communities losing their identity, economies hit where they can least recover. This is where the rare and courageous come in. The leaders who refuse to accept the illusions of comfort and conformity, who don't just react, but create new rules of engagement for capital and leadership. These are the ones who see beyond borders, beyond titles, and say, enough. Enough to short-term greed. Enough to empty promises. Enough to a system that processes humans and ideas into optimized, predictable machines. These leaders ignite change, not by adding noise, but by amplifying essence, by crafting companies and industries that embody boldness, adaptability, and enduring strength. Here's the brutal, life-saving advice. Don't let yourself be a passive player in this game. If you're sitting on the sidelines, convinced you can't influence private equity's path, you're already losing. Start by building authentic connections. Seek out partners who share your refusal to settle for the easy, convenient path. Align with the few who burn at the edges, who reject mediocrity and are ready to do the long, grueling work of transformation. This network of rarity, the visionaries, builders, financiers, exists and is waiting. Their combined power can create synergy that dismantles the destructive patterns and reconstructs industries from the ground up. If your industry feels like it's being hollowed out, fight fire with fire. Inject minds and money into innovation that disrupts destruction. Support entrepreneurs rewriting rules. Push for structures that reward collaboration, not extraction. Demand metrics that measure human and social impact alongside financial returns. It's not impossible, it's urgent. We are living in a time when the old certainties crumble and a new reality is within reach. Private equity doesn't have to be the villain. It can be the spark that reignites progress. But this requires unwavering will, ruthless critique, and a patient, strategic mindset that plays the long game. Every second wasted on doubt feeds industry decay. This is a battle for the soul of business, for the future of economies, for the respect and value of human labor. Step into your power as a leader, refusing to bow to convenience and short-sightedness. Demand that capital serve purpose as well as profit. Push your teams to innovate, collaborate, and think beyond borders and old boxes. Take ownership not just of your company, but of your industry's destiny. Be relentless in aligning with those who dwell not in comfort, but on the edge, pushing what's next. This is where innovation is born. This is where industries stop dying and start evolving. There will be resistance. Comfort fights back. Old guard interests scream louder. Structures built for status quo will try to drag every movement back into mediocrity. But those who dare to burn the safe ships and blaze new trails don't just survive, they lead. Imagine a network so powerful that it turns misaligned brilliance into aligned force. Imagine industries transformed by a coalition of exceptional individuals who refuse to conform, who forge strength from difference, who liberate themselves from the invisible chains of convenience and conformity. The stakes could not be higher. The cost of inaction is industry decay, job loss, economic instability, and the slow death of human potential. But the rewards? A future where private equity is a tool for renewal, where companies grow not by squeezing others dry, but by creating new opportunities, where leaders become architects of change, not victims of a broken system, where your legacy isn't just survival, but a rebirth that echoes beyond your time. There's no time to hesitate. Every second is a seed of destruction or creation. Choose creation. Align with the few who are ready to forge this new path together. Don't settle for being part of the problem. Become part of the solution the system forgot. It starts with you, here, now. The industry you save may well be your own.